What's up, everybody? My name is Marco from Audio Lounge, and I just want to go over something pretty basic today. Just a quick little tip, an organizational tool that I use just to stay organized in my folders for my sessions and stuff. I've got it up here on the screen, and it's fairly obvious what I'm about to talk about. Just about the dates and everything. And just to get it out of the way, I date everything month, day, year, only because if I'm working on a song for more than, 2, 3 years, I feel like we got a problem. We need to finish this song. This particular example just happened to happen over the new year. So that's why you see 25 and 2026. Just try to ignore that, I guess, for now. But I just want to talk about the idea of how I'm titling everything with a date at the beginning so that I can just easily identify what's happening in the sessions as I'm looking at the folder. So I can just tell right away, I prepped this session on the 17th, and come the 18th of November 2025, we tracked bass and drums for this song. Now, I play bass in this band. This is a band called Shades of Grey. It's a new song we got coming out. We just finished it, and, well, I don't know when this video is actually going to come out, but anyways, on the 18th, we tracked drums and bass, but for this band, we tracked live, so there were a guitar and a vocal being recorded at the same time. And then what I did is I took that home and I did a little editing, just kind of moved a little bit of hits here and there, make sure all the ones are nice and strong, things like that. And then I always commit those tracks when I do edits like that, just so I'm not staring at a bunch of, cuts and things like that in my session, just a visual thing for me. So that's why you see all that happening on the 18th. And I just title it like that: drum and bass tracking, drum edit, drum commit, very easily identifiable just to see what's going on. And then from there, December happened. It's the holidays. We didn't do much. And then we jump right into January. On the 12th, we do some guitar tracking for the rhythm guitars. And then for this group in particular, the vocalist does his vocals on his own. He had some extra instruments, violins, some, extra, fun stuff, some ear candy in there. And so that's why you see us not really touch it all of February. And then come back in March, we do some soloing for the guitar now that we have all the vocals and everything in there. On the 17th, it's also labeled guitar solo. That's just indicating to me that I also made some sort of a small edit, whether that be, an actual edit to the audio or just changing the tone or something. If I didn't particularly mark it in any sort of way, it's probably something simple, or I might have even just changed the volume. But either way, I know I made a change to the guitar solo, so I can compare those two sessions, and it'll give me that information I need. And then from there, you see it just go right to the 19th, and it just says Elevate. That's the title of the song, if you didn't figure that out already. But that when it's just titled that, for me, that's an indication of we have everything in the song. It's ready to go. There's no more questioning of whether we want this in there or we want this extra instrument, or did we want the extra guitar part in there? How's this edit? Everything is already done. There's no more things to be added or taken away. Everybody's happy with it. Everybody's heard this version of it. This was the last thing that was sent out before the band in its entirety goes, yes, this is what we want to get mixed. From there, you see it jumps over to April 7th. I did a mix on it. And then April 8th, I'm pretty sure I actually didn't even change anything. I think I just took a limiter off for the master. But other than that, it's listed all there. So when I open up this folder, I can see exactly what's going on. And I'm pretty disciplined about doing this with all of my sessions because then I can just stay organized. But not only that, right? It's also something that's important when you're kind of just exercising different things within a song. So something I'll do a lot, especially when I'm working with a lot of MIDI and virtual instruments for bands, is if we're just kind of building out a demo or a draft or doing some pre-production, and we want to audition different structures for a song, it's easier for me just to title things like this, and then I can just A and B different structures, and I can send bands different edits the way that they want it. I've even had to make several edits to several different versions of the same song just so that they can decide what it is that they want. And rather than me trying to do a bunch of edits, undo them, do them again in a different way, undo them and do them again, it's just easier for me to work off these 3 sessions. But I know, again, just by looking at it, what's going on. And in the event, like in this particular example, I have a lot of things going on the 18th. But if I was doing like a mix or something, say I was making multiple edits to a mix in one day, which it's not really that common, you know. But if somebody hits me back right away and they're like, "Oh, hey, it's great. Just I want that one thing a little bit quieter. I want that one thing a little bit louder." I can do that. I'll title the same thing, but even though it's just one tiny detail, I still will title it. You know, it might be 4926 elevate mix, because again, it's indicating that something changed a little bit in there. It's not exactly the same as the one that was on the 8th, and this way, if they turn around and they say, "Hey, you know what? I liked that other mix better. It was fine at the lower volume." Rather than having to go back and then go and edit this one, so I have these two sessions. I know exactly which one it was, and boom, there it is. And then especially if it's on different days, you know, it's just easy to, hey, you know what? There's mix from the 9th, there's mix from the 10th, and then you know, Joe wanted this edit, you know, so there's mix from the 12th, and we like the one from the 12th the best, and then boom, there it is. We can go right to it. We know exactly where it is. I know where it's at. I know it seems a little bit, you know, kind of self-explanatory, but it's a discipline that I think everybody should get into. And whether it's this system or some other form of system, have a system. That's the most important thing. So that when somebody hits you up and they say, "Hey, I really liked that mix that you did 6 weeks ago," you can get right to it. You know exactly where it's at. You know exactly where everything was. You can just pull it up. You can bounce the session out, do whatever you got to do. Okay, I just want to interject here really quickly because I didn't appropriately cover this in the video. I pulled up a screenshot of how I would title a song if I was making multiple edits in a single day. I'll keep the same date at the beginning of the session, but I'll start using letters A, B, C, D, so on and so forth at the end of the title, because I don't see myself ever actually making 26 edits to a single song in a single day. So it's just an easy way for me to keep track of those types of things. If I'm doing a mix and maybe there's just small adjustments being made, I can just reference mix A, B, C, or D from that specific day. This is also particularly useful when you're creating different structures for a song, like I was mentioning earlier. If I have different versions of the same song, it's easy to say, "Hey, I like version C the best," or "Hey, we like version B the best." And then we can just identify the session, pull it right up, and everything's exactly where it needs to be and how we want it, and we can just continue working. But that's it, man. I just wanted to share that with you because it's something I've been doing for pretty much ever. My cousin Rich had given me this tip probably back when I was about 8 years old, maybe even before I had a Pro Tools rig of my own, but it's something that has stuck with me. And even though I've adapted it and kind of have made it my own a little bit, the principle's still the same. So just have some sort of workflow, some sort of way that you can maintain organization within your files and your sessions. If you have a cool or unique way that you stay organized within your files and your sessions and stuff, drop it down below. Let me know. I'm always interested. Maybe I'll change up how I do things, but so far hasn't failed me yet. So hope this helps you out there, and have a good one. Take care.